What's up, Skullbells TV? In this video, 7 weeks now, we made it of red meat, water, and salt, aka the Lion Diet. So my question is the Lion Diet wise and sustainable for you, or is it too much, and is it going to be too extreme if you decide to do this? Why would you decide to do this? We're going to recap the results of how the first 4 weeks went, then I'm going to walk you through every single meal of the last 3 weeks. Also, why my diet is not changing very much and why I can't wait to do it again, actually exactly the way that I did it. So, if you have not watched the first vlog where I went over the first 30 days of the Lion Diet, what the Lion Diet is, go check out that one first. That'll answer your questions there. Day 1 of this diet was October 4th of 2023, and then day number 30 was November 4th of 2023. Finished the challenge in Seattle, Washington. That was a huge treat with Coach Mark and Leo, Sarah, Hyro, a bunch of good friends. It didn't even have to get off the Lion Diet for that one. See, Novios Brazilian Steakhouse. That was at the end of the last video, which brings us to where we're at now, which is days 30 through 49. So, so day number 49 was actually on Thanksgiving Day. That's actually where we ended up. So that was perfect timing, just being able to have some turkey, being able to have some things that weren't on the Lion Diet, and now we're basically back to business. So the purpose of the initial 30-day challenge was to reduce inflammation, to simplify my busy lifestyle as a traveling bodybuilding coach and nutrition consultant, also to improve mental clarity and workload, and to build leg muscle because I am lean bulking right now. So in terms of results, here again, neck pain, lower back pain is gone. Feet are completely healed. No running pain whatsoever. Thank God. I'm running 8 to 9 miles a week right now. Once a week. It's always all at one time. And I'm training legs 3 days a week, upper body 2 days a week. But back to the running here again. The pain that I had, the plantar fasciitis and the stress fractures around my foot, it was a very sharp pain. It was actually quite debilitating. And I'm able to do all of this without any pain whatsoever. I really believe that the 7 weeks that I was on the Lion Diet and those last couple weeks that I had contributed a lot to reducing that inflammation so that I'm able to run without any pain. It simplified my busy lifestyle as a traveling bodybuilding coach and nutrition consultant. So no meal prep, no supplements to pack. This was the hardest diet to start. But once I was on it after the first couple weeks, it was the easiest one to adhere to because I have not had one sweet craving the entire time since week 2 is kind of when those started to go away. And the last 6 weeks, this has just become who I am now at this point. Talked all about the travel, going from New Hampshire down to West Virginia and then over to Seattle and then back to Joliet. So being able to stay on the Lion Diet the entire time, it was kind of a daunting task, but the reason I decided to do it, even when I was traveling, was I knew that it would simplify my traveling. I had to pack way less. I didn't have to meal prep anything. I was able to hit all of my meals, and I didn't have to cheat once the entire time that I was traveling. So Lion Diet is, in my experience, it was hard to start, especially those first couple weeks with the withdrawals. But once I got past those, the last 6 weeks have been great. I love it. Building leg muscle. So legs are noticeably larger, specifically in the quads and adductors, which is exciting because I've really been trying to close that gap between my legs. I want to have the best classic physique package that I ever have in my entire life next time I step on stage. So that is going to be a critical component of that. And as far as conditioning goes, I think it's the same. I don't think I've put on any fat, and if I did, then that'll come off really easy the next time that I prep. Not competing in the summer of 2024. I'm not going to compete in 2024 at all, actually. I'm just going to do guest posing again and save getting shredded until I'm about to step on stage. So I don't like being shredded. I like being lean, but I do not like being shredded. Amen. Okay, here we go. So what was really a game changer these last 3 weeks actually was this salt. It's called Baja Gold Natural Living Sea Salt. And it actually even beats Celtic in terms of its nutrient profile. So Celtic sea salt is what I was using up until this point. When I realized that Baja Gold has a little bit lower sodium, a little bit higher magnesium, it has more calcium, and it has the rest of your electrolytes and the minerals that you're missing when you're just eating like normal table salt. Personally, I found it to be worth the upgrade. Since then, we've developed a relationship with Baja Salt, with Michael. you can check out session number 32 of Carnivore Coaches Corner, where we talked all about the salt, tell you everything that you need to know about it, actually. You can grab it on our website. It's at supersetyourlife.com. If you are serious about investing into your health, it costs about twice as much as Celtic sea salt. And so that's something that you have to look in the mirror and decide if that's worth it for you to make the upgrade. The purpose of the last 3 weeks of this overtime. So I've been enjoying the results of the Lion Diet so much, like why would I stop? I wanted to become more familiar with the Lion Diet and master it inside and out. Also, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it again, and I wanted to build upon the self-confidence that I developed through this journey. Questions that I'm often asked. Number 1, can you keep this up forever? Number 2, will you ever eat vegetables or carbs again? And number 3, do you have cheat days? Do you allow yourself cheat days? I hate the way that that's worded. But here we go. I can answer all these questions with Proverbs 26, verse 11. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats its foolishness. Let me repeat that again. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness. So for me personally, alcohol, sugar, liquid artificial sweeteners, also the sweetener that's in like chewing gum, fiber, these things were all problematic for my health and my performance. And despite overcoming some withdrawals initially, I couldn't live with the fact that some of these substances had some dominion over my life. Not okay. Nothing gets the right to have control over my life except for God. So cutting out everything besides the highest nutrition that my body can have, which is eating like a lion, since we're at the top of a food chain like a lion, right? That improved so many aspects of my health and of my quality of life that I don't want to lose them. I've decided how I live is more important than what I put into my mouth. This is not a crash diet. This is an intelligent strategy to eat the way that humans are supposed to eat. A species-appropriate diet, you might call it. That's what Professor Bart Kay and Dr. Anthony Chaffee, how they describe it. John 4:34 says, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and finish his work." That's been something that's been on my mind this last 3 weeks. Did you miss plants? Do you miss plants? My answer to that is no. Dr. Robert Kilt says that lettuce is nature's toilet paper. When I heard that, I was dying laughing. That was on one of his morning meetups, and I agree with that. I eat carbs and I eat plants personally as often as I want to, which is never. I eat them as often as I need to, which is also never. So it used to be hard to say no to carbs before going lion, but I haven't had a single sweet craving ever since week 2. That's why the Lion Diet is so effective. Nothing foreign enters your body. It changes who you are inside and out. This has been the easiest diet that I've ever had to stick to. You'll notice that I'm actually not in ketosis very much the entire time on these last 3 weeks, and really the first 4 weeks too. All 49 days, I was doing 1 meal a day on most days, doing 2 meals a day here and there, just when I was hungry. Never tried to do 1 meal a day. I like what Dr. Anthony Chaffee says. I eat when I'm hungry, and if I fast, then it just kind of happens by accident. So 17 ACEs. This is a breath ketone device. This was a bit higher than average in terms of where I was at in terms of being able to get those ketone levels. But here again, this is not a ketogenic diet, really. This is a carnivore diet, and so the objective of a ketogenic diet is to get into ketosis, and that could be for therapeutic reasons. That could be for athletic performance. I like to be in ketosis where I can, but that really wasn't my goal here. My entire goal was just to change who I am as a person and to change my body inside out, which is what I knew the Lion Diet would do. And that's kind of the purpose of the Lion Diet. I did find it kind of difficult to track macros too. I was throwing in some organ meats here and there, rib meat. I mean, these are really tough. These are really tough food choices to track macros with. And so for those of our athletes that are on a competition prep, we usually recommend sticking with just ground because it's the easiest thing in the world to track and you can get a pretty good idea of where you're at. If you're eating different cuts of steaks every single day, That throws off your math so far. It's almost not even worth it. And so the tracking that I was doing was just weighing out the amount of food that I was eating, anywhere from 2.5 pounds to 3.5 pounds of meat most days, and then no butter whatsoever. So what you see on top of these burger patties, that's not butter. It looks like butter, but it's tallow. And so what I would do is save all of the tallow, save all of even all the bacon grease from what my wife was cooking. I'm doing that more now, and so I wasn't doing that when I was doing the actual lion diet. But having beef tallow in and mixing it together with the venison, that actually helped to make my burger patties a lot more fatty and a lot more enjoyable. That was a nice hack that I figured out about halfway through, right? What's the best thing about venison? Everybody loves the flavor. It tastes great. What's the worst thing about venison? It's too lean. It's not really practical for a ketogenic diet. And so I found it a lot more effective to add in beef tallow and then even freeze chunks of tallow and then throw them on top, kind of like it was butter. It tastes a little bit different than butter, but after you stop eating butter for a few days, tallow starts to taste like butter, and it tastes really, really good. Also, it has a higher amount of choline in it, which should help you recover faster on your workouts. The scenery that you see right here was actually not too far from where I shot my deer. Big shout out to Susie. Thank you so very much for picking up yourself a bag of Baja Gold natural living sea salt off of our website. Here again, those are at supersetyourlife.com. All orders receive one of those brochures that you see so that you are educated on why what you're eating is so freaking good for you. We got plenty of them in stock, and we ship everything right here at Joliet, Montana from supersetyourlife.com. All right. This is more bone broth. If you've noticed, I've been eating a lot of bone broth, and the reason is because electrolytes. So I stopped supplementing electrolytes. I was taking Relight before I went strict lion, and when I went on the strict lion diet, I was really missing my electrolytes. I didn't know that first week if I was just missing how sweet they taste, how good they are, or if I was actually missing the nutrients themselves. And so bone broth has a decent amount of potassium in it, so I believe that was also contributing to recovering from workout to workout. Bone broth also has a lot of collagen in it, which is great for your connective tissues. And now that it's a winter time, there is just nothing more satisfying than after you've been outside and it's cold all day, coming inside with a big hot steak and a nice glass of bone broth. Oh man, that's heaven. That's super good. The only salt that I used this entire 3 weeks actually was Baja Gold salt. I wanted to see how it was different, how if I felt any different, and I certainly didn't feel any worse than when I was eating Celtic sea salt. But I really enjoy the texture of it. I enjoy the flavor of this salt quite a bit. And I'm still using a little bit of pink potassium cave salt just to make sure that I'm getting my potassium numbers, because I didn't want my body to like freak out or anything from going from a lot of potassium to no potassium whatsoever. And comment below if you have any questions about the salt whatsoever. Once again, session number 32 of Carnivore Coaches Corner. Michael Selek and I told you everything that you need to know about this salt, how it's sourced, where to get it, how it's different than pink Himalayan salt, best ways to use it. This guy is absolutely brilliant. If you are going to give the Lion Diet a try, I think it is a wonderful idea, and I really believe from the bottom of my heart, this is from my own experience and from my clients' testimonials, and this is from the research that I've done, is that I believe that anybody that does the Lion Diet will be healthier because you did it. Those first couple weeks are rough, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's necessarily the best idea for anybody to just go and do it cold turkey. But if you are going to do the Lion Diet, you have to have the end in mind, and you have to be committed to it. You have to know that you are not going to bail out. Hopefully you have a good coach or an accountability partner or somebody that's going to hold you to it. I also just told the world I was going to do it on Instagram and in my newsletter and on the podcast. And so I had like 3 sources of accountability to where I was like, okay, we're not backing out now. And then after the first 2 weeks, I just started falling in love with red meat more and more, to the point to where here we go. Okay, this is Thanksgiving. All right. This was the day to where I was like, okay, I've made it 49 days. I can have wine. I can have something sweet. I'm going to have a keto brick. I'm going to have some keto yogurt. And it just wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. It was great, but man, I would actually have rather had a ribeye than the dessert that I had. Keto bricks, bomb. not knocking on the keto brick, but the sugar alcohols that were in this Rebel ice cream definitely told my stomach that that they were there. So I was I never have any gas. That's kind of the funny thing, is that people that do the carnivore diet and the lion diet, especially when you cut out fiber, like you just stop. You just don't have gas anymore. There's just no reason to, unless something like changes in what you're eating every day. And so that was probably the biggest thing that I noticed, is that my body was like, okay, you ate a lot of things that weren't red meat, and we're going to remind you of that. So I think next time I'm probably just going to go with a nice piece of steak or some red meat for dessert. But the turkey and the ham, whew, my grandma cooked it, and it was totally worth it. And that's pretty much it, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. This footage that you're seeing right now is some posing after our leg workout that we had this morning. Keep it locked into Skull Bells TV, because we are on a keto modified lion diet right now. I've gone so far as to add in butter and keto bricks and some bacon grease. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, we're pretty much strict on the lion diet right now. I'm just trying to optimize my macros a bit further so that I can get the most out of this lean bulk until Christmas. I'm going to send a vlog probably sometime around Christmas time after I finish that. So keep it locked in here at Skull Bells TV. You'll see it when it comes out. Once again, I sincerely hope that you learned something helpful. God bless. Catch you on the next video.